Hareb Beruach, Sword of the Spirit. Interpreted and narrated by Wendy. Deuteronomy, Chapter 1.
These are the words that Moshe spoke to all Yisrael on this side of the Yarden, in the wilderness, in the plain towards the reeds, between Paran and Tupel, and Laban and Chetzerut, and Dizahab. It was 11 days from Horeb by the way of Mount Shaer to Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass during the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the 1st of the month, that Moshe spoke to the children of Yisrael, according to all that YHWH had given him in commandment for them, after he had slain Sihon, the king of the Amori, who dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, who dwelt in Ashtarut in Aidrei. On this side of the Yarden, in the land of Moab, Moshe began to declare this teaching, saying, YHWH our Elohim spoke to us in Horeb, saying, You have dwelt long enough in this mount. Turn and take your journey, and go to the mount of the Amori, and to their neighbors in the plain, in the hills, and in the valley, and in the south, and in the seaside, to the land of the Canaani, and to Lebanon, to the great river, the Parat River. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which YHWH swore to your fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, to give to them and their seed after them. Also, I spoke to you during that time, saying, I am not able to bear you by myself, alone. YHWH your Elohim has multiplied you, and behold, this day you are as the stars of the heavens for multitude. May YHWH, the Elohim of your fathers, make you 1,000 times more than you are, and endow you like he has promised you. How can I, alone, bear your cumbrance, and your burden, and your strife? Take for yourselves mortals among your tribes, who have wisdom, and understanding, and knowledge. Then I will make them leaders among you. Therefore you answered me and said, The word that you have spoken is good to do. So I took the leaders of your tribes, mortals with wisdom and knowledge, and I made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, Hear between your brethren, and judge righteously between a man and his brother, also the sojourner with him. You will not recognize people during the judgment. You will hear the small as well as the great. You will not live before man, for the judgment is unto Elohim. Also, the cause that is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I will hear it. Furthermore, during that time, I commanded you all the word that you will do. And when we departed from Horeb, you went through all that great and terrible wilderness, which you saw by the way of the mountain of the Amori, as YHWH our Elohim commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea. Then I said to you, You have come to the mountain of the Amori, which YHWH our Elohim gives to us. Behold, YHWH your Elohim has set the land before you. Go up to possess it, as YHWH, the Elohim of your fathers, has said to you. Fear not, nor be discouraged. Therefore all of you came near to me and said, We will send men before us, and they will search out the land for us, and bring us word again by what way we must go up, and into what cities we will come. And the word pleased me well. So I took 12 men from you, one for each tribe, Then they turned and went up into the mountain, and came to the valley of Ashkul, and searched it out. Also they took the fruit of the land in their hands, and brought it down to us, and brought us word again, and said, That which YHWH our Elohim gives to us is a good land. However, you would not go up, but rebelled against the commandment of YHWH your Elohim. Also, you murmured in your tents, and said, Because YHWH hates us, he has brought us from the land of Misraim to deliver us into the hand of the Amori, to destroy us. How will we go up? Our brethren have discouraged our heart, saying, The people are greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walled up to the heavens. Also we have seen the sons of the Anakim there. Then I said to you, Dread not, neither be afraid of them. YHWH your Elohim goes before you. He will fight for you according to all that he did for you in Mitzrayim before your eyes. Also in the wilderness, where you saw how YHWH your Elohim carried you, like a man carries a son, in every way that you went, until you came into this place. Even with this word, you did not believe YHWH your Elohim, who went in the way before you, to search out a place to pitch your tents, with a fire by night and a cloud by day, to show you the way you should go. Furthermore, YHWH heard the voice of your words, and was wroth, and swore, saying, Surely not one of these men from this evil generation will see that good land which I swore to give to your fathers, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. He will see it, and unto him I will give the land that he has trodden upon, and to his children, because he has followed YHWH completely. Also, YHWH was angry with me for your sakes, saying, You too will not go in there. Yehoshua, the son of Nun, who stands before you, he will go in there. Encourage him, for he will cause Yisrael to inherit it. Moreover, your little ones, who you said would be a prey, and your children, who during that day had no knowledge between good and evil, they will go in there. And I will give it to them. Therefore they will possess it. But you, turn yourselves and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. Therefore you answered and said to me, We have sinned against YHWH. We will go up and fight, according to all that YHWH our Elohim commanded us. Then, when every man had girded his weapons of war, you were ready to go up into the hill. So YHWH said to me, Say to them, Do not go up nor fight, for I am not among you, lest you are smitten before your enemies. Therefore I spoke to you, but you would not listen, and rebelled against the commandment of YHWH. Then you arrogantly went up into the hill. So the Amori who dwelt in that mountain came out against you, and chased you like bees do, and he crushed you from Sha'er to Carmah. Then you returned and wept before YHWH, but YHWH would not hearken to your voice, nor give ear to you. Therefore you abode in Kadesh many days, according to the days that you abode.
Chapter 2.
And we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds, as YHWH spoke to me. Thus we encircled Mount Sha'er many days. Then YHWH spoke to me, saying, You have encircled this mountain long enough. Turn northward and command the people, saying, You are to pass through the border of your brethren, the children of Ashau, and dwell in Sha'er. However, they are afraid of you. Therefore, take heed unto yourselves, Do not meddle with them, for I will not give you from their land. No, not so much as a foot's width, because I have given Mount Seir unto YHWH for a possession. You will buy grain from them with money, that you may eat. Also, you will buy water from them with money, that you may drink. For YHWH your Elohim has endowed you with all the works of your hand. He knows your travels through this great wilderness. These 40 years YHWH your Elohim has been with you. You have lacked nothing. Therefore, when we passed by our brethren, the children of YHWH, who dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plain of Ailat, and from Atzion Gaber, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. Then YHWH said to me, Do not distress the Moab, nor contend with them in battle, for I have not given you their land for a possession, because I have given Ar to the children of Luth for a possession. The Amim dwelt here in times past, a great people, numerous and tall, like the Anakim. Also, the Rephaim were considered giants, like the Anakim. But the Moab called them Amim. So too the Hurim dwelt in Seir previously, but the children of YHWH succeeded them, when they had destroyed them from their presence, and dwelt in their stead, like Yisrael will do to the land of his possession, which YHWH gives to them. Now rise up and get yourselves over the brook of Zered. Therefore we went over the brook of Zered, and the span in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we came over the brook of Zered was 38 years, until the entire generation of feuding men were wasted from among the army, as YHWH swore to them. For indeed the hand of YHWH was against them, to destroy them from among the army, until they were consumed. Then it came to pass, when all the feuding men were consumed and dead from among the people, that YHWH spoke to me, saying, You are to pass over through Ar, the border of Moab, this day. But when you come before the children of Ammon, do not distress them, nor meddle with them, for I will not give you a possession of the land of the children of Ammon, because I have given the possession to the children of Luth. Also, it was considered a land of the Rephaim. Giants dwelt in it during the ancient times. But the Ammonim called them Zazumim, a great people who were numerous and tall, like the Anakim. But YHWH destroyed them from their presence, and they succeeded them, and dwelt in their stead, like he did for the children of YHWH, who dwelt in Seir, when he destroyed the Hurim from before them. And they succeeded them, and dwelt in their stead, even to this day. Also the Ahuim, who dwelt in villages, by strength the Kapturim, who came from Kaptor, destroyed them, and dwelt in their stead. Rise up, take your journey, and pass over the Arnon river. Behold, I have given Sihon the Amori, king of Heshbon, and his land into your hand. Begin to possess it, and contend with him in battle. This day I will begin to put the dread and the fear of you upon the nations under the entire heavens, who will hear report of you and tremble, and be in anguish because of you. Therefore I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedemut unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, Let me pass through your land. I will go along by the highway. I will neither turn to the right hand nor to the left. You will sell me grain for money, that I may eat, and give me water for money, that I may drink. Only by foot I will pass through, like the children of YHWH who dwell in Seir, and the Moab who dwell in Ar, until I pass over the Yarden into the land which YHWH, our Elohim, gave us. But Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by him. For Yahuwah, your Elohim, hardened his ruach, and made his heart hard, so that he might deliver him into your hand, as this day. And Yahuwah said to me, Behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land before you. Begin to possess it, that you may inherit his land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Yahatz. Thus Yahuwah our Elohim delivered him before us, and we attacked him and his sons and his people. And we took all his cities at that time, and utterly destroyed the men, and the women, and the little ones of every city. We left nothing to remain. We only took the cattle as prey for ourselves, also the spoil from the cities that we took from Ar-Ayer, which is by the bank of the river of Arnun. So too the city that was by the river towards Gilead. There was not one city too strong for us. Yahuwah our Elohim delivered them all to us. Only unto the land of the children of Ammon. You did not go unto any place of the Yabuk river, nor to the cities in the mountains, nor anything Yahuwah our Elohim forbade us.
Chapter 3.
And we turned. Then we went up the way to Bashan. Moreover, Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Aidrei. And Yahuwah said to me, Do not fear him, for I will deliver him and all his people, and his land into your hand. And you will do unto him like you did to Sihon, king of the Amori, who dwelt at Heshbon. Thus Yahuwah your Elohim delivered Og the king of Bashan, also all his people into your hand, and we attacked him until only a remnant of him survived. And we took all his cities at that time. There was not a city which we did not take from them, 60 cities, the entire region of Argub, the kingdom of Og in Bashan. All these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, besides a great number of walled towns. And we utterly destroyed them, as we did to Sihon, king of Heshbon, utterly destroying the men, women, and children of every city. But all the cattle and all the spoil of the cities we took for a prey unto ourselves. Also, at the time we took from the land of the 2 kings of the Amori, the land that was on this side of the Yarden, from the river of Arnun to Mount Hermon. The Sidunim call Hermon Shiryun. However, the Amori call it Shenir. Of all the cities of the plain, and all Gilead, and all Bashan, to Selka and Aidrei, cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bed was an iron bed. Why is it not in Rabbath with the children of Ammon? Its length was 9 cubits, and its width was 4 cubits, after the cubit of a man. Moreover, at the time, the land that was possessed was from Ar-Ayer, which is by the Arnun river, and half of Mount Gilead. Therefore I gave its cities to the Reubeni and to the Gadi. However, the rest of Gilead and all of Bashan, the kingdom of Og, I gave to half the tribe of Manasseh, the entire region of Argub, with all of Bashan, which was called the land of the giants. Yair, the son of Manasseh, took the entire country of Argub, to the borders of Gesheri and Ma'akati. Then he called them after his own name, fruitful towns of Yair, to this day. Also I gave Gilead to Makir, But to the Reubeni and to the Gadi I gave from Gilead up to the Arnon river, half the valley, and the border until the Yabuk river, the border of the children of Ammon, also the plain of the Yarden, and its border from Kinneret until the sea of the plain, until the salt sea, beneath the slopes of Pisgah, eastward. And at the time I commanded you, saying, Yahweh your Elohim has given you this land to possess it. You will pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Yeshariel, all the sons of war. However, your wives and your little ones and your cattle, I know that you have many cattle, will abide in your cities, which I have given you, until Yahweh has given rest to your brethren, and they possess the land which Yahweh your Elohim has given them, beyond the Yarden also, like you. Then you will return each man to his possession, which I have given you. Also at that time I commanded YHWH, saying, Your eyes have seen all that Yahweh your Elohim has done to these two kings. So too Yahweh will do to all the kingdoms that you pass. You will not fear them, for Yahweh your Elohim, he will fight for you. Moreover, at the time I besought Yahweh, saying, Adonai, Yahweh, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your mighty hand. For what all is in the heavens or in the earth, who can do according to your works and according to your might? I pray you, let me go over and see the good land that is beyond the Yarden, that goodly mountain, and Lebanon. But Yahweh was wroth with me for your sakes, and would not hearken unto me. Therefore Yahweh said to me, Let this suffice you. Speak no more to me of this matter. Get yourself up into the top of Pisgah, and lift up your eyes westward, and northward, and southward, and eastward, and behold it with your eyes. For you will not go over the Yarden. Rather, commission Yahushua, and encourage him, and strengthen him. For he will go over before these people, and he will cause them to inherit the land which you will see. Therefore we abode in the valley in front of Beit Paor.
Chapter 4.
Now therefore hearken, O Yeshariel, to the customs and guidelines that I teach you, to observe them, so that you will live and possess the land which Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, gives you. You will not add a word to that which I command you, nor will you diminish from it, so that you may keep the commandments of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I command you. Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did because of Baal Peor. For all the men who followed Baal Peor, Yahweh, your Elohim, has destroyed them from among you. But you who cleave to Yahweh, your Elohim, are alive, every one of you, this day. Behold, I have taught you customs and guidelines, like that which Yahweh, my Elohim, commanded me, for you to do in the land that you go to possess. Therefore, keep and do them, for this is wisdom and understanding in the eyes of the nations who will hearken all these customs, and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is Elohim near to, like Yahweh our Elohim is to us in all we call upon him? And what great nation has customs and guidelines that are righteous like all these teachings, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to yourself and diligently protect your soul, lest you forget the words which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. Therefore, teach them to your sons and your sons' sons. The day that you stood before YHWH, your Elohim, in Horeb, when YHWH said to me, Gather the people together unto me, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to revere me all the days that they live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. Therefore you came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire in the midst of the heavens, with darkness, clouds, and thickness. And YHWH spoke to you from the midst of the fire. You heard the sound of the words, but saw no form, only a voice. And he declared to you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, the 10 commandments. And he wrote them upon 2 stone tablets. Then, at the time, YHWH commanded me to teach you customs and guidelines, that you might do them in the land where you go over to possess. Therefore, carefully observe them for your soul's sake, for you did not see any form on the day when YHWH spoke to you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you become corrupt and make yourself a statue, the form of any idol, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps upon the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. Or lest you lift up your eyes in the heavens, and when you see the sun, and the moon, and the stars, the entire army of the heavens that YHWH your Elohim has divided for all nations under all the heavens, and you are seduced to worship them and serve them. Moreover, YHWH has taken you and brought you from the furnace out of Mitzrayim, to be a people unto himself, an inheritance as you are this day. Furthermore, YHWH was angry with me for your sakes, and swore that I would not go over the Yarden, and that I would not go into that good land, which YHWH your Elohim gives, an inheritance for you. Therefore I must die in this land. I must not go over the Yarden. However, you will go over and possess that good land. Take heed to yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of YHWH your Elohim, which he made with you, and make yourself a statue, the likeness of all that YHWH your Elohim has forbidden you. For YHWH your Elohim is a consuming fire, a jealous all. When you beget children and children's children, you will have been long in the land, and become corrupt, and make a statue, the likeness of anything, and do evil in the sight of YHWH your Elohim, to provoke him to anger. I call the heavens and earth to witness against you this day, that you will surely perish quickly from off the land which you go over the Yarden to possess. Your days will not be prolonged upon it, for surely you will be destroyed, and YHWH will scatter you among the people, and you will be left few in number among the nations, where YHWH will lead you. And there you will serve deities, the work of Adam's hands, wood and stone, which do not see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. However, while there, if you will seek YHWH your Elohim, you will find him, if you will seek him with all your heart and all your soul, when you are in tribulation, and all these things come upon you during the latter days. If you will turn unto YHWH your Elohim, and be obedient to his voice, he will not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore to them. For YHWH your Elohim is a merciful all. Now, ask about the beginning of days that were before you, from the day that Elohim created Adam upon the earth, and from one side of the heavens to the other. Has a great word like this come to pass? Or has anything like this been heard? Has a people heard the voice of Elohim speaking out of the midst of a fire and lived, like you have heard? Or has Elohim attempted to make a nation unto himself from the midst of another nation by testings, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by an outstretched arm, and by great terrors, according to all that YHWH your Elohim did for you in Mitzrayim, before your eyes? Unto you it was shown that you might know that YHWH, he is the Elohim. There is none other beside him. Out of the heavens he made you to hear his voice, that he might instruct you, and upon the earth he showed you his great fire. And you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought you from Mitzrayim into his presence with great strength, to drive out nations from before you, greater and mightier than you, to bring you in, to give you their land, an inheritance, such as this day. Therefore know this day, and consider it in your heart, that YHWH, he is Elohim in the heavens above and upon the earth beneath, no other. Therefore you will keep his customs and his commandments, which I command you this day, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, also that you may have prolonged days upon the Adamah, which YHWH your Elohim gives you, for all the days. Then Moshe severed 3 cities on this side of the Yarden, towards the rising sun, so that the slayer might flee there, who accidentally killed his neighbor, yet did not hate in times past, so that he might live by fleeing to one of these cities, Betzer, in the wilderness in the plain country of the Reubeni, and Ramut, in Gilead of the Gadi, and Gulan, in Bashan of the Menashe. Thus, this is the teaching which Moshe set before the children of Yisrael. These are the testimonies and the customs and the guidelines which Moshe spoke to the children of Yisrael after they came forth out of Mitzrayim, on the side of the Yarden, in the valley in front of Beit Paor, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amori, who dwelt in Keshbon, whom Moshe and the children of Yisrael attacked after they came from Mitzrayim, and they possessed his land, and the land of Og, king of Bashan, and 2 kings of the Amori, who were on this side of the Yarden, towards the rising sun, from Ar-Ayer, which is by the bank of the Arnon river, until Mount Shinan, which is Hermon, and all the plain on this side of the Yarden, eastward, until the sea of the plain, under the slopes of Pisgah.
Chapter 5.
And Moshe called all Yisrael, and said to them, Hear, O Yisrael, the customs and guidelines which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn and keep and do them. YHWH, our Elohim, made a covenant with us in Horeb. YHWH did not make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, all of us who are here alive this day. He who exists talked with you face to face from the midst of the fire in the mount. At the time I stood between you and YHWH to show you the word of YHWH, because you were afraid from the presence of the fire, and did not go into the mount. For he said, I am YHWH your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. You shall not have any other deities above me. You shall not make unto yourself any statue, or any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters beneath the earth. Nor will you bow to them, nor serve them. For I, YHWH your Elohim, am a jealous all, appointing the iniquity of the fathers unto the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You will not carry the name of YHWH your Elohim unto emptiness, for YHWH will not hold him guiltless, who bears his name for nothing. Keep the day of Shabbat, to sanctify it as YHWH your Elohim has commanded you. For 6 days you will labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of YHWH your Elohim. You will not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your sojourner who is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as yourself. Moreover, remember that you were servants in the land of Mitzrayim, and that YHWH your Elohim brought you from there with a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore, YHWH your Elohim commanded you to keep the day of Shabbat. Honor your father and your mother, as YHWH your Elohim has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the Adamah which YHWH your Elohim gives you. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not desire your neighbor's wife. You shall not desire your neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words YHWH spoke to all your assembly in the mount from the midst of the fire, the cloud, and the fog, with a great voice. And he added nothing more, and he wrote them upon 2 stone tablets, and delivered them to me. Moreover, it came to pass when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, for the mountain burned with fire, that you came near to me, all the heads of your tribes and your elders. Then you said, Behold, YHWH our Elohim has showed us his glory and his greatness. Also, we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. This day we have seen that Elohim does talk with the Adam, and he lives. Now, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of YHWH our Elohim any more, then we will die. For who of all flesh has heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking from the midst of a fire, like us, and lived? You go near and hear all that YHWH our Elohim will say. Also, you tell to us all that YHWH our Elohim has spoken to you. Then we will hearken and do it. Furthermore, YHWH heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me. So YHWH said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of these people, which they have spoken to you. All those who have spoken well. May it come to pass that they give their heart here, to revere me and keep all my commandments all the days, that it may be well with them and with their children forever. Go say to them, Get yourselves into your tents again. But as for you, you stand here with me, and I will speak to you. All the commandments and the customs and the guidelines which you will teach them, that they may do them in the land that I give them to possess. Therefore you will observe to do as Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you. You will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. You will walk in all the ways that Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, that you may live, and that it may be well with you, and that your days are prolonged in the land which you will possess.
Chapter 6.
Now these are the commandments, the customs, and the guidelines which Yahweh your Elohim commanded to teach you, so that you do them in the land where you go to possess, that you might revere Yahweh your Elohim, to keep all his customs and his commandments, which I command you and your son, and your son's son, all the days of your life, also that your days may be prolonged. Therefore hear Yeshariel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahweh the Elohim of your fathers has promised you, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Yeshariel, Yahweh your Elohim, Yahweh is one. Moreover, you will love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. Also, these words which I command you this day will be in your heart, and you will teach them diligently to your children. Therefore you will talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you will bind them for a mark upon your hand, and they will be as frontlet between your eyes. And you will write them upon the posts of your house, and on your gates. And it will be when Yahweh your Elohim has brought you into the land which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities that you did not build, and houses full of all goods that you did not fill, and dug wells that you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees that you did not plant. When you have eaten and are full, beware lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you from the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. You shall revere Yahweh your Elohim, and serve him. Also you shall swear by his name that you will not follow after other deities, the deities of the people who are round about you, because Yahweh your Elohim is a jealous all among you, lest the anger of Yahweh your Elohim is kindled against you, and destroys you from off the face of the Adamah. You will not tempt Yahweh your Elohim like you tempted in Manasseh. You will diligently keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, and his testimonies, and his customs, which he has commanded you. Therefore you will do righteously and good in the sight of Yahweh, so that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. In the time to come, when your son asks you, saying, what are these testimonies, and these customs, and these guidelines that Yahweh our Elohim has commanded you? Then you will say to your son, we were Paro's bondmen in Mitzrayim, but Yahweh brought us from Mitzrayim with a mighty hand. Moreover, Yahweh showed signs and wonders, great and fearsome, upon Mitzrayim, upon Paro, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from there, that he might bring us in, to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. Also, Yahweh commanded us to do all these customs, to revere Yahweh our Elohim, always for our good, so that he might preserve us alive like this day, and it will be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has commanded us.
Chapter 7.
When Yahweh your Elohim brings you into the land that you will go to possess, and has cast out many nations before you, the Hitti, and the Girgashi, and the Amori, and the Canaani, and the Perizi, and the Hiwi, and the Yebusi, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahweh your Elohim delivers them before you, then you will conquer them. Surely you will destroy them. You will not make a covenant with them, nor show mercy to them, nor will you make marriages with them. You will not give your daughter to his son, nor will you take his daughter for your son, because they will turn your son away from following me, that they may serve other deities. Moreover, the anger of Yahweh will be kindled against you, and suddenly destroy you. Like this you will deal with them. You will destroy their altars, and break down their pillars, and cut down their Asherah, and burn their statues with fire. For you are a holy people unto Yahweh your Elohim. Yahweh your Elohim has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people who are upon the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than other people, for you were the fewest of all people. It is from the love of Yahweh towards you, and because he is keeping the oath that he swore to your fathers, that Yahweh has brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Paro, the king of Mitzrayim. Therefore know that Yahweh your Elohim, he is Elohim, the All, the faithful one, who keeps covenant, and has mercy for those who love him and keep his commandments, unto 1,000 generations, but repays those who hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be delayed for those who hate him. He will repay him to his face. Therefore you shall keep the commandments and the customs and the guidelines which I command you this day, to do them. And it will come to pass, because you hearkened unto these guidelines, and keep them, and did them, that Yahweh your Elohim will keep for you the covenant and the mercy that he swore to your fathers. Then he will love you, and endow you, and multiply you. Also he will endow the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, your grain, and your wine, and your oil, the increase of your kine, and the flocks of your sheep, in the land which he swore to your fathers to give you. You will be endowed above all people. There will not be a barren male or female among you, or among your cattle. And Yahweh will take away all sickness from you, and put none of the evil diseases of Mitzrayim, which you know. Instead, give them to all who hate you. And you will consume all the people who Yahweh your Elohim delivers to you. Your eye will have no pity upon them, nor will you serve their deities, because it will be a trap for you. If you say in your heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispose them? You will not be afraid of them. Surely you will remember what Yahweh your Elohim did to Paro and to all Mitzrayim, the great testings that your eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the outstretched arm, whereby Yahweh your Elohim brought you out. Thus Yahweh your Elohim will do to all the people of whom you are afraid. Moreover, Yahweh your Elohim will send the hornet among them, until those who are left and hide themselves from you are destroyed. You will not be frightened by them, for Yahweh your Elohim is among you. All is mighty and fearsome. And YHWH your Elohim will put out those nations before you, little by little. You will not consume them at once, lest the beast of the field increase upon you. Then YHWH your Elohim will deliver them to you, and destroy them with a mighty destruction, until they are destroyed. And he will deliver their kings into your hand, and you will destroy their name from under the heavens. A man will not be able to stand before you when you destroy them. You will burn the statues of their deities with fire. You will not desire the silver or gold upon them, nor take it for yourselves, lest you are trapped by it. For it is an abomination unto YHWH your Elohim. You will not bring an abomination into your house, lest you are cursed like it. Surely you will detest it. Surely you will abhor it, because it is cursed.
Chapter 8.
All the commandments that I command you this day, you will observe to do, that you may live, and multiply, and go in and possess the land which YHWH swore to your fathers. And you will remember every way that YHWH your Elohim led you these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you, to test you, to know what is in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not. Therefore he humbled you, and suffered you to hunger, and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, so that you would understand that Adam does not live by bread alone, but Adam lives by all that springs forth from the mouth of YHWH. The garments upon you did not become worn, nor did your feet swell these 40 years. Also, you should consider in your heart that, like a man who disciplines his son, YHWH your Elohim has disciplined you. Therefore, you will keep the commandments of YHWH your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to revere him. For YHWH your Elohim brings you into a good land, a land with streams of water, of fountains, and springs that flow from the valleys and hills, a land of wheat, and barley, and vines, and fig trees, and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land in which you will eat bread without scarcity. You will not lack anything in it. A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills you will dig copper. When you have eaten and are full, then you will compliment YHWH your Elohim for the good land which he has given you. Beware that you do not forget YHWH your Elohim in not keeping his commandments, and his guidelines, and his customs, which I command you this day, lest when you have eaten and are full, and have built goodly houses, and dwell, and when your herds and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold multiply, and all that you have is multiplied, also your heart is lifted up. However, you forget your Elohim, who brought you from the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage, who led you through that great and terrible wilderness, the fiery serpents, and scorpions, and drought, where there was no water, who brought you water from the flint rock, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers did not know, so that he might humble you, and that he might test you, to do you good in the end. Yet you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand has gotten me this wealth. Therefore you will remember YHWH your Elohim, for he gave you the power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers, like this day. For surely it will come to pass, if you forget YHWH your Elohim, and follow after other deities, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day, that you will surely perish, like the nations that YHWH destroyed before your face. So too you will perish, because you will not be obedient to the voice of YHWH, your Elohim.
Chapter 9.
Hear, O Yisrael, you are to pass over the Yarden this day, to go in to possess the nations greater and mightier than yourself, great cities, also fortified to the heavens, a great and tall people, the children of the Anakim, whom you know, for you have heard who can stand before the children of Anakim. Therefore, understand this day that YHWH your Elohim is he who goes over before you, a consuming fire. He will destroy them, and he will bring them down before your face, so that you will drive them out and destroy them quickly, as YHWH has said to you. So do not speak in your heart after YHWH your Elohim has cast them out before you, saying, "It's because of my righteousness YHWH has brought me in to possess this land." But it is because of the wickedness of these nations YHWH drives them out from before you, not because of your righteousness, nor for the uprightness of your heart do you go to possess their land. But for the wickedness of these nations YHWH your Elohim drives them out from before you, also that he may perform the word which YHWH swore to your fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. Therefore understand that YHWH your Elohim does not give you this good land to possess it because of your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget that you provoked YHWH your Elohim unto wrath in the wilderness, from the day that you departed from the land of Mitzrayim until you came to this place. You have been rebellious against YHWH. Also, in Horeb you provoked YHWH to wrath, so that YHWH was angry enough with you to destroy you. When I went up into the mount to receive the stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant which YHWH made with you, then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread nor drink water. Then YHWH delivered to me the 2 stone tablets, written with the finger of Elohim, and on them was according to all the words that YHWH spoke with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire during the day of the assembly. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days and 40 nights that YHWH gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. And YHWH said to me, "Arise, get yourself down quickly from hence, for your people, who you have brought from Mitzrayim, are corrupted. They have quickly turned aside from the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a maskah." Also YHWH spoke to me, saying, "I have seen these people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under the heavens. And I will make a nation of you, mightier and greater than them." So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. Then I looked and saw you had sinned against YHWH your Elohim. Having made yourselves a maskah, you had turned aside quickly out of the way which YHWH had commanded you. Therefore I took the 2 tablets and cast them out of my 2 hands, and broke them before your eyes. Then I fell down before YHWH, like in the beginning of the 40 days and 40 nights. I did not eat bread nor drink water, because of all your sins which you have sinned, by doing wickedness in the sight of YHWH, to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure with which YHWH was wroth against you to destroy you. But YHWH hearkened unto me at that time also. And YHWH was very angry with Aharon to have destroyed him. So I prayed for Aharon at that time too. Then I took your sin, the calf which you made, and burnt it with fire, and crushed it, grinding it very small, until it was as small as dust. And I cast its dust into the brook that descended out of the mount. Furthermore, at Taberah, and at Massa, and at Kibrut Hatawa, you provoked YHWH to wrath. Likewise, when YHWH sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you. But you rebelled against the commandment of YHWH, your Elohim, and did not believe him, nor hearken to his voice. You have been rebellious against YHWH since the day that I've known you. Thus I fell down before YHWH 40 days and 40 nights, like I fell down because YHWH said he would destroy you. Therefore I prayed unto YHWH, and said, O Adonai, YHWH, do not destroy your people and your inheritance, who you have redeemed through your greatness, who you have brought from Mitzrayim with a mighty hand. Remember your servant Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. Look not at the stubbornness of these people, nor to their wickedness, nor to their sin, lest the land that you brought us from says, because YHWH was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he has brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. However, they are your people and your inheritance, who you brought out by your mighty power and by your outstretched arm. At that time YHWH said to me, Cut yourself 2 stone tablets like the first, and come up to me into the mount, and make yourself an ark of wood. Then I will write on the tablets the words that were in the first tablets that you broke, and you will put them in the ark. Therefore I made an ark of shittim wood, and 2 stone tablets hewed like the first. And I went up into the mount, having the 2 tablets in my hand. Then he wrote on the tablets, according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which YHWH spoke to you in the mount out of the midst of the fire during the day of the assembly, when YHWH gave them to me. So I turned and came down from the mount. Also I put the tablets in the ark, which I had made, and there they are, as YHWH commanded me.
Chapter 10.
And the children of Yisrael took their journey from Be'erut Beni Yakan towards Musarah. There Aharon died, and there he was buried. Also Alazer his son ministered in the priest's office in his stead. From there they journeyed to Gudgada, and from Gudgada to Yathata, a land of rivers of water. At that time YHWH separated the tribe of Lehi to bear the ark of the covenant of YHWH, to stand before YHWH, to minister to him, and to endow in his name, to this day. For this the Lehi have no part nor inheritance with his brethren. YHWH is his inheritance, according as YHWH your Elohim promised him. And I stayed in the mount according to the first time, 40 days and 40 nights. And YHWH hearkened unto me at that time also. YHWH did not destroy you. And YHWH said to me, Arise, take your journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land, which I swore to their fathers to give to them. Now, Yisrael, What does YHWH, your Elohim, require of you, but to revere YHWH, your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve YHWH, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul, to keep the commandments of YHWH and his customs, which I command you this day for your good. Behold, the heavens and the heavens of the heavens belong to YHWH, your Elohim, the earth with all that is in it. Surely YHWH had delight in your fathers to love them. Therefore he chose their seed after them, you above all people, as this day. Therefore circumcise the foreskin of your heart, and do not be stiff-necked any more. For YHWH, your Allahi ha'Elohim, deity of deities, and Adonai ha'Adonim, Lord of lords, the great all, is mighty and fearsome, not regarding people nor taking bribes. He does justice for the fatherless and widow. Also, he loves the immigrant by giving him food and clothes. Therefore, you love the immigrant, for you were sojourners in the land of Mitzrayim. You shall revere YHWH, your Elohim. Him you will serve, and unto him you will cleave and swear by his name. He is your praise, and he is your Elohim, who has done for you these great and terrible things, which your eyes have seen. For your fathers went down into Mitzrayim with 70 people. Now YHWH, your Elohim, has made you like the stars of the heavens for multitude.
Chapter 11.
And you will love YHWH, your Elohim, and keep his charge, and his customs, and his guidelines, and his commandments all the days. Still yet know this day, for it is not unto your children who have not known nor seen the chastisement of YHWH your Elohim, his greatness, his mighty hand, and his outstretched arm, and his miracles. Also his acts which he did in the midst of Mitzrayim, to Paro, the king of Mitzrayim, and to all his land, and what he did to the Mitzrayim army, to their horses, and to their chariots, how he made the water of the sea of reeds to overflow them as he pursued after them, and YHWH has destroyed them until this day. And what he did for you in the wilderness until you came into this place, and what he did to Datan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, the son of Reuben, how the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their households, and their tents, and all the substance that was in their possession, in the midst of all Yisrael. However, your eyes have seen all the great acts of YHWH, which he did. Therefore you will keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that you may be strong, and go in and possess the land where you go to possess, so that your days may be prolonged in the land, which YHWH swore to your fathers to give to them and to their seed, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land where you go to possess is not like the land of Mitzrayim, from where you came out, where you sow your seed and watered it by foot, like a garden of herbs. But the land where you go to possess is a land of hills and valleys. Drinking water is from the rain of the heavens, a land which YHWH your Elohim cares for. The eyes of YHWH your Elohim are always upon it, from the beginning of the year even to the end of the year. And it will come to pass, if you will hearken diligently to my commandments, which I command you this day, to love YHWH your Elohim, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give the rain of your land in its appointed season, the first rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your grain, and your wine, and your oil. And I will send grass in your fields for your cattle, that you may eat and be full. Take heed to yourself that your heart is not deceived, and you turn aside and serve other deities, and worship them, lest the wrath of YHWH be kindled against you, and he will shut up the heavens, that there is no rain, and that the land does not yield her fruit, lest you perish quickly from off the good land which YHWH gives you. Therefore you will lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be like frontlets between your eyes. Furthermore, you will teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you will write them upon the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, so that your days and the days of your children may be multiplied in the land, which YHWH swore unto your fathers to give you, like the days of the heavens upon the earth. For if you will diligently keep all these commandments, which I command you, to do them, to love YHWH your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave to him, then YHWH will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will possess nations that are greater and mightier than you. Every place that the soles of your feet tread will be yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, surely from the river of Parat until the western sea will be your territory. No man will be able to stand before you. YHWH your Elohim will lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that you tread upon, like he has said to you. Behold, I set before you this day an endowment and a curse. An endowment if you obey the commandments of YHWH your Elohim, which I command you this day, and a curse if you do not obey the commandments of YHWH your Elohim, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other deities which you have not known. And it will come to pass, when YHWH your Elohim has brought you in to the land where you go to possess, that you will put the endowment upon Mount Gerizim, and the curse upon Mount Aibal. Are they not on the other side of the Yarden, by the way where the sun goes down, in the land of the Canaani, which dwell in the plains facing Gilgal, near the oaks of Morah? For you will pass over the Yarden to go in to possess the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you. Therefore you will possess and dwell in it, and you will observe to do all the customs and guidelines which I set before you this day.
Chapter 12.
These are the customs and guidelines that you will observe to do in the land which YHWH the Elohim of your fathers gives you to possess, all the days that you live upon the earth. Surely you will destroy all the places where the nations that you will possess served their deities, upon the high mountains, and upon the hills, and under every green tree. Moreover, you will overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their wooden images with fire. Therefore you will hew down the statues of their deities, and destroy their names from that place. You will not do so unto YHWH your Elohim, for unto the place that YHWH your Elohim chooses from all your tribes to put his name, there he will be. If you seek him, then you will go there. Furthermore, there you will bring your ascension offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and the exalted offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks. So too, there you will eat before YHWH your Elohim, and you will rejoice with all that is put into your hand, you and your households, in which YHWH your Elohim has endowed you. You will not do like all that we do here this day, every man doing whatever is right in his own eyes. For you have not come into the rest and into the inheritance yet, which YHWH your Elohim will give you. However, when you go over the Yarden and dwell in the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you to inherit, and when he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that you dwell in safety, then there will be a place where YHWH your Elohim will choose to put his name and dwell there. There you will bring all that I command you, your ascension offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and the exalted offering of your hand, and all the vows you choose to vow unto YHWH. And you will rejoice before YHWH your Elohim, you and your sons and your daughters and your menservants and your maidservants, and the Lehuim who are within your gates, for he has no part of your inheritance with you. Take heed unto yourself that you do not offer your ascension offerings in every place that you see, but in the place that YHWH will choose, in one of your tribes. There you will offer your ascension offerings, and there you will do all that I command you. However, with all the desires of your soul, you may kill and eat according to the endowment of YHWH your Elohim, which he has given you within all your gates. The unclean and the clean, they may eat of them like a gazelle and a deer. Only you will not eat the blood. You will pour it upon the earth like water. You may not eat within your gates the tithe of the grain, or of your wine, or of your oil, or the firstlings of your herd, or of your flock, nor any of your vows which you vow, nor your freewill offerings, nor the exalted offering of your hand, but you must eat them before YHWH your Elohim, in the place which YHWH your Elohim will choose, you and your son and your daughter and your manservant and your maidservant, and the Lehuim that is within your gates. And you will rejoice before YHWH your Elohim in all that is put into your hands. Take heed unto yourself that you do not forsake the Lehuim as long as you live upon your Adamah. When YHWH your Elohim will enlarge your border, as he has promised you, and you will say, I will eat flesh, because your soul longs to eat flesh, you may eat flesh, with all your soul desires. If the place which YHWH your Elohim has chosen to put his name there is too far from you, then you will kill from your herd and from your flock, which YHWH has given you, as I have commanded you, and you will eat in your gates with all your soul desires, even like the gazelle and the deer. So too the unclean and the clean will eat of them. Together they will eat of them. Only be sure that you do not eat the blood, for the blood is the life. Therefore you may not eat the life with the flesh. You will not eat it. You will pour it upon the earth like water. You will not eat it, so that it may go well with you. Then you will do what is right in the sight of YHWH. Only your holies and your vows that you have, you will take and go to the place which YHWH will choose. Therefore you will offer your ascension offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of YHWH your Elohim, and the blood of your sacrifices will be poured out upon the altar of YHWH your Elohim, and you will eat the flesh. Observe and hear all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you, and with your children after you, when you do good and righteously in the sight of YHWH, your Elohim. When YHWH, your Elohim, cuts off the nations from before you, where you go to possess them, and you succeed them, and dwell in their land, take heed unto yourself, that you are not trapped by falling behind those who were destroyed from before you, lest you inquire about deities, saying, how did these nations serve their deities? So I may do likewise. You will not do so unto YHWH your Elohim. For every abomination unto YHWH, which he hates, they have done for their deities. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire of their deities. All the word that I command you of him, observe to do it. You will not add to it, nor diminish from it.
Chapter 13.
If there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder comes to pass, so that he speaks to you, saying, let us go after other deities, which you have not known, and let us serve them. You will not hearken to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for YHWH your Elohim is testing you, to know whether you love YHWH your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. You will walk after YHWH your Elohim, and revere him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you will serve him, and cleave to him. Also, that prophet or that dreamer of dreams will be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from YHWH your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to push you from the way which YHWH your Elohim commanded you to walk in. So you will put the evil away from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is like your own soul, secretly entices you, saying, let us go and serve other deities, those that you nor your fathers have known, the deities of the people who are round about you, near or far from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, you will not consent to him, nor hearken to him, nor will your eye pity him, nor will you spare him, nor will you hide him, but surely you will kill him. Your hand will be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. And you will stone him with stones so that he dies, because he has sought to push you away from YHWH your Elohim, who brought you out from the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. Then all Yisrael will hear and revere, and never again do like the evil speech that is among you. If you hear in one of your cities, which YHWH your Elohim has given you to dwell there, saying, mortals, the children of Belial, to corrupt goodness, have gone out from among you, and have lured the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other deities which you do not know. Then you will inquire, and do a search, and ask diligently, and see if the speech is true and certain. If this abomination has been done among you, surely you will fiercely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it and all who are in it, also its cattle with the edge of the sword. Therefore you will gather all its spoil into the midst of its street, and burn it with fire, the city and all its spoil with it, for YHWH your Elohim, and it will be a heap forever. It will not be built again. Furthermore, do not cleave to the cursed thing in your hand, that YHWH may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you, as he has sworn to your fathers, because you hearkened to the voice of YHWH your Elohim, to keep all his commandments which I command you this day, to do righteously in the eyes of he who exists, your Elohim.
Chapter 14.
You are the children of YHWH your Elohim. You will not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For you are a set-apart people unto YHWH your Elohim, and YHWH has chosen you to be a treasured people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. You will not do anything unnatural. These are the beasts that you will eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the stag, and the doe, and the gazelle, and the wild goat, and the mountain goat, and the wild ox, and the mountain sheep, and every beast that divides the hoof, so the hoof is cloven in two. Those you will eat. However, these you will not eat of those who chew the cud, or of those who divide the cloven hoof, the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but do not divide the hoof. They are unclean to you. Also the swine, because it divides the hoof, yet it does not chew the cud. It is unclean to you. You will not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These you will eat of all that are in the waters. All that has fins and scales you will eat, but whatever does not have fins and scales you will not eat. It is unclean to you. You will eat all birds, but these are those you will not eat: the eagle, and the vulture, and the buzzard, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the kite after its kind, and every raven after its kind, and the owl, and the short-eared owl, and the seagull, and the hawk after its kind, and the little owl, and the screech owl, and the white owl, and the jackdaw, and the carrier vulture, and the fisher owl, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. And every creeping thing that flies is unclean to you. They will not be eaten. All clean fowl you may eat. You will not eat of anything that dies of itself. You will give it to the immigrant who is in your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people unto YHWH your Elohim. You will not simmer a kid in the milk of his mother. Surely you will tithe all the increase of your grain, which the field brings forth year by year. And you will eat before YHWH your Elohim, in the place that he will choose to place his name, the tithe of your grain, of your wine, and of your oil, and the firstlings of your herds, and of your flocks, that you may learn to revere YHWH your Elohim all the days. However, if the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, if the place is too far from you, where YHWH your Elohim will choose to set his name, when YHWH your Elohim endows you, then you will turn it into money, and grip the money in your hand, and go to the place that YHWH your Elohim will choose. Furthermore, you will spend that money for all that your soul desires, for oxen, and for sheep, and for wine, and for strong drink, and with all that your soul desires. Therefore, you will eat there before YHWH your Elohim, and you will celebrate, you and your household, and the Levim who are within your gates. You will not forsake him, for he has no part nor inheritance among you. At the end of 3 years you will bring all the tithes of your increase that same year, and lay it up within your gates. Therefore the Levim, because he has no part nor inheritance among you, and the immigrant, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates will come and eat and be satisfied, that YHWH your Elohim may endow you in all the work of your hand which you do.
Chapter 15.
At the end of 7 years you will make a release, and this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lends to his neighbor will release it. He will not require it from his neighbor or from his brother, because it is called the release of YHWH. Of a foreigner you may require. However, what comes to you of your brother, you will release your hand empty. For there will not be poor among you, because surely great is the endowment of YHWH to you in the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you, an inheritance to possess. Only if you carefully hearken to the voice of YHWH your Elohim, to observe to do all these commandments which I command you this day. For YHWH your Elohim will endow you, like he promised you, and you will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow, and you will reign over many nations, but they will not reign over you. If there is a poor man from one of your brethren among you, within any of your gates, in your land which YHWH your Elohim gives you, you will not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother, but you will open your hand wide to him. Surely you will lend him sufficient for his needs, which he wants. Beware that there is not a wicked thought in your heart, saying, the 7th year is at hand, the year of the release. Therefore your eye becomes evil towards your poor brother, so you give him nothing. Then he cries to YHWH against you, and it becomes a sin for you. Surely you will give to him. Also your heart will not be grieved when you give to him, because for this thing YHWH your Elohim will endow you in all your works, and in all that you put your hand to do. Because the poor will never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you will open your hand wide to your brother, to your poor, and to your needy in the land. If your brother, an Aiberi man, or an Aiberiya woman, is sold to you and serves you 6 years, then you will let him go free from you during the 7th year. However, when you send him out free from you, you will not let him go empty. You will furnish him liberally from your flock, and from your threshing floor, and from your winepress. That which YHWH your Elohim has endowed you, you will give to him. And you will remember that you were bondmen in the land of Mitzrayim, and YHWH your Elohim redeemed you. Therefore I command you this word today. And it will be, if he says to you, I will not go from you, because he loves you and your house, because he is well with you. Then you will take an awl, and thrust it through his ear at the door, and he will be your servant forever. Also you will do likewise to your maidservant. It should not seem hard for you when you send him away free from you, for he has been worth double a hired servant, while serving you 6 years. And YHWH your Elohim will endow you in all that you do. All the firstling males that come from your herd and from your flock you will separate unto YHWH your Elohim. You will do no work with the firstling of your steer, nor shear the firstling of your sheep. You will eat it before YHWH your Elohim, year by year, in the place which YHWH will choose, you and your household. And if there is blemish in it, lame or blind, any illness, you will not sacrifice it unto YHWH your Elohim. Within your gates the unclean and the clean will eat it together, like the gazelle and the deer. Only you will not eat its blood. you will pour it upon the ground like water.
Chapter 16.
Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Pesach unto YHWH your Elohim. For YHWH your Elohim brought you from Mitzrayim by night during the month of Abib. Therefore you will sacrifice the Pesach unto YHWH your Elohim of the flock and herd in the place where YHWH will choose to place his name. You will not eat leavened bread with it. For 7 days you will eat upon unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, because you came from the land of Mizraim in haste, so that you may remember the day when you came from the land of Mizraim all the days of your life. And there will be no leavened bread seen with you in all your territory for 7 days, nor will there be any flesh remaining all night until morning, from the sacrifice of the first day at evening. You will not sacrifice the Pesach within any of your gates, which YHWH your Elohim gives you, but at the place which YHWH your Elohim will choose to place his name. There you will sacrifice the Pesach at evening, during the going down of the sun, in the season that you came forth out of Mitzrayim. Also you will roast and eat it in the place which YHWH your Elohim will choose. Then in the morning return and go to your tents. For 6 days you will eat unleavened bread. Also on the 7th day you will have a Mikra Kudesh unto YHWH your Elohim. You will do no work. You will number 7 weeks unto yourself. Begin to number the 7 weeks from the piercing of the grain with the sickle. Therefore you will keep the feast of Shavuot unto YHWH your Elohim with the tribute of a free will offering of your hand, which you will give according as YHWH your Elohim has endowed you. Therefore you will celebrate before YHWH your Elohim, you and your son and your daughter and your manservant and your maidservant, and the Lehuim who are in your gates, and the sojourner, and the fatherless, and the widow who are among you, in the place which YHWH your Elohim has chosen to place his name. Also you will remember that you were a bondman in Mitzrayim. Therefore you will observe to do these customs. You will observe the feast of Sukkot for 7 days, after you have gathered in your grain and wine. Furthermore, you will celebrate during your feast, you and your son and your daughter and your manservant and your maidservant and the Lehuim, the sojourner and the fatherless and the widow who is within your gates. For 7 days you will feast unto YHWH your Elohim in the place that YHWH will choose, because YHWH your Elohim will endow you in all your increase and in all the works of your hands. Therefore, surely you will celebrate. All your meals will appear before YHWH your Elohim in the place that he will choose 3 times during the year, in the feast of Matzot, in the feast of Shavuot, and in the feast of Sukkot. However, they will not appear before YHWH empty. Every man will give as he is able, according to the endowment of YHWH your Elohim, which he has given you.
Chapter 17.
You will appoint judges and officers in all your gates, which YHWH your Elohim gives you throughout your tribes, and they will judge the people with righteous guidelines. You will not bend the guidelines. You will not respect persons, nor take a gift. For a gift blinds the eyes of the wise, and perverts the words of the righteous. Surely you will follow righteousness, that you may live and inherit the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you. You will not plant a carved wood idol of any tree, which you make for yourself, near the altar of YHWH your Elohim, nor will you set up a monument which YHWH your Elohim hates. You will not sacrifice unto YHWH your Elohim a bull or sheep that has a blemish, any bad description, for that is an abomination unto YHWH your Elohim. If a man or woman is found among you within any of your gates, which YHWH your Elohim gives you, who has worked wickedness in the sight of YHWH your Elohim, by transgressing his covenant, also having gone and served other deities, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the army of the heavens, which I have not commanded. Furthermore, it is told to you, and you have heard, and have diligently inquired, and have beheld the truth. The accusation is correct, that such an abomination has been worked in Yeshariel. Then you will bring forth that man or that woman who has committed the wicked thing unto your gates. Then you will stone them with stones until they die. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, he who is worthy of death will be put to death. By the mouth of 1 witness, he will not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses will be the first upon him to put him to death. Then afterwards, the hands of all the people, so that you will put evil away from among you. If there arises a matter too hard for you in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, or between attack and attack, matters of controversy within your gates, then you will arise and get yourself up into the place that YHWH your Elohim will choose. Moreover, you will come to the priests, the Levim, and to the judge who will be in those days, and inquire, and they will declare to you the word of judgment, and you will do according to the word that is declared to you from that place, which YHWH will choose, and you will observe to do according to all that they inform you. You will do according to the word of the teaching that they tell you, and according to the guideline that they tell you. You will not turn from the word that they have declared to you, the right hand or the left. Therefore, the man who does wickedly and does not hearken to the priest who stands to minister there before YHWH your Elohim, or to the judge, that man will die. Thus you will put away the evil from Yeshariel, and all the people will hear and fear, and do no more wickedness. When you come to the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you, and possess it, and dwell in it, and say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are round about me. Surely you will set a king over you, who YHWH your Elohim chooses from among your brethren. You will set a king over you. You will not set a foreign man over you, who is not your brother. Nonetheless, he will not multiply horses for himself, nor cause the people to return to Mitzrayim, so that he might buy more horses. Therefore, as YHWH has said to you, henceforth you will not return that way any more, nor will he multiply wives for himself, so that his heart does not turn away, nor will he greatly multiply silver and gold for himself. Moreover, it will come to pass, when he sits upon the throne of his kingdom, that he will write himself a copy of this teaching according to the supper, from before the priests, the Levim. Therefore it will be with him, and he will read in it all the days of his life, that he may learn to revere YHWH his Elohim, to keep all the words of this teaching and these customs, to do them, so that his heart is not lifted up over his brethren, and that he does not turn aside from the commandment, the right hand or the left, for the purpose that he may prolong the days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Yeshariel.
Chapter 18.
The priests, the Lehuim, the entire tribe of Lehui, will have no part nor inheritance with Yeshariel. They will eat from the fire of Yahweh and his portion. Therefore, they will have no inheritance among their brethren. Yahweh is their inheritance, as he said to them. Moreover, this will be the priest's due from the pupil, from those who offer a sacrifice, whether an ox or sheep. Thus they will give to the priest the shoulder and the jaws and the belly. Also, you will give him the first fruits of your grain, wine, and oil. So too you will give him the first of the fleece of your sheep. For Yahweh your Elohim has chosen him from all your tribes to stand, to minister in the name of Yahweh, him and his sons, all the days. Furthermore, if a Lehuim goes from any of your gates, wherever he sojourned, and comes with all the desire of his soul to the place that Yahweh chooses, then he will minister in the name of Yahweh, his Elohim, like all his brethren, the Lehuim, who stand there before Yahweh. They will eat equal portions, except what is sold by their forefathers. When you have come into the land that Yahweh your Elohim gives you, you will not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There will not be found among you one who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, uttering divinations from clouds and from snakes and from witchcraft, or charming charms, or consulting possessive spirits and wizards, or seeking those who are dead. Because all who do these things are an abomination to Yahweh, and because of these abominations to Yahweh your Elohim, they are driven out from before you. You will be perfect with Yahweh your Elohim. For these nations which you will possess hearkened to cloud readings and divinations. But as for you, Yahweh your Elohim has not permitted you so. Yahweh your Elohim will raise up a prophet for you from the midst of you, from your brethren, like me. Unto him you will hearken. According to all that you desired of Yahweh your Elohim in Horeb, during the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear the voice of Yahweh my Elohim any more, nor let me see this great fire any more, so that I do not die. Therefore Yahweh said to me, Those who have spoken well. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto you, and put my words in his mouth, and he will speak to them all that I will command him. And it will come to pass that whoever does not hearken to my words, which he speaks in my name, I will require it of him. However, the prophet who arrogantly speaks a word in my name that I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other deities, that prophet will die. However, if you say in your heart, How will we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, if the word does not follow through, nor come to pass, Yahweh has not spoken that word. The prophet has spoken arrogantly. You will not regard him.
Chapter 19.
When Yahweh your Elohim cuts off the nations, whose land Yahweh your Elohim gives you, and you succeed them, and dwell in their cities, and in their houses, you will separate 3 cities for yourself in the midst of the land, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to possess. You will prepare a way for yourself and divide the borders of your land, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to inherit, into 3 parts, so that every slayer may flee there. Therefore, this is the word concerning the slayer who will flee there, that he may live. Whoever accidentally kills his neighbor, whom he did not hate previously, like when a man goes into the woods with his neighbor to cut wood, and his hand prepares to strike with the axe to cut down the tree, but the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, he will flee to one of these cities and live, lest the avenger of blood pursues the slayer while his heart is hot. However, because the way is long, he overtakes him and slays him, even though he was not worthy of death, because he did not hate him previously. Therefore I command you, saying, you will separate 3 cities for yourself. Also, if YHWH your Elohim enlarges your border, as he has sworn to your fathers, and gives you all the land which he promised to give your fathers, should you keep all the commandments to do them, which I command you this day, to love YHWH your Elohim, and to walk in his ways, then you will add 3 more cities for yourself besides these, so that innocent blood is not shed in your land, which YHWH your Elohim gives you for an inheritance, and blood be upon you. But if any man hates his neighbor, and lies in wait for him, and rises up against him, and smites him mortally, so that he dies, and flees into one of these cities, then the elders of his city will send and fetch him there, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, so that he may die. Your eye will not pity him. Therefore you will put away innocent blood from Yeshariel, that it may go well with you. You will not remove your neighbor's landmark, which those of ancient times have been set within your inheritance, which you will inherit in the land that YHWH your Elohim gives you to possess. One witness will not rise up against a man for any iniquity or sin, in all sin that he sins. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses the word will be established. If a false witness rises up against any man to testify against him falsely, then both of the mortals, between whom is the conflict, will stand before YHWH, before the priests and the judges, whoever it is during those days. Then the judges will make diligent inquisition and see if the witness is a lying witness, testifying lies against his brother. Furthermore, you will do to him like he thought to do to his brother. Thus you will put away the evil from among you. Moreover, those who remain will hear and fear, and henceforth commit no more evil like that among you. Also, your eye will not pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
Chapter 20.
When you go to battle against your enemies, and see horses and chariots, a people who are greater than you, do not be afraid of them, for YHWH your Elohim, who lifted you from the land of Mitzrayim, is with you. And it will be, when you come near to the battle, that the priest will approach and speak to the people and say to them, Hear, O Yeshariel, you approach this day to battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint. Fear not, and do not tremble, neither be terrified because of them. For YHWH your Elohim is he who goes with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. So too the officers will speak to the people, saying, Which man has built a new house, and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he dies in the battle, and another man dedicates it. And which man has planted a vineyard, yet has not eaten of it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eats it. Also, which man is betrothed to a wife, and has not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man takes her. Furthermore, the officers will speak more to the people, and they will say, Which man is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return to his house, lest his brother's heart faints like his heart. And it will be, when the officers have made an end of speaking to the people, that they will make captains of the armies to lead the people. When you come near to a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace to it. And it will be, if peace is the response, and they open to you, then it will be that all the people found in it will be tributaries to you. Thus they will serve you. However, if it will not make peace with you, but will make war against you, then you will besiege it. And when YHWH, your Elohim, has delivered it into your hands, you will smite all of its males with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones, and the cattle, and all that is in the city, all of its spoil, you will take unto yourself. Therefore you will consume the spoil of your enemies, which YHWH your Elohim has given you. Thus you will do to all the cities that are very far from you, which are not the cities of these nations. But the people of these nations, which YHWH your Elohim gives you, the inheritance, you will save nothing alive that breathes. Therefore you will completely destroy them, the Hittite, and the Amori, the Canaani, and the Perizi, and the Hiwi, and the Yebusi, as YHWH your Elohim has commanded you, so that they do not teach you to follow after all of their abominations, which they have done for their deities, whereby you sin against YHWH your Elohim. When you besiege a city for a long time, while warring against it, to capture it, you will not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them, because you can eat from them. Therefore you will not cut them down. For is a tree of the field a man that can go into a fortress from your presence? Only the trees that you know are not trees for food you will destroy and cut them down, and you will build blockades against the city that makes war with you until it is subdued.
Chapter 21.
If a slain man is found in the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you to possess, lying in the field, no one knowing who has slain him, then your elders and your judges will go, and they will measure to the cities that surround the slain. And it will be that the nearest city to the slain man, the elders of that city will take a heifer, which has not been worked, which has not drawn a yoke, and the elders of that city will bring down the heifer to a pristine valley, which has not been plowed nor sown, and behead the heifer there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Lehi, will come near, because YHWH your Elohim has chosen them to minister to him, and to endow in the name of YHWH. And by their mouth every controversy and every assault will be settled. And all the elders of that city nearest to the slain will wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley, and they will answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither has our eyes seen it. Atone for your people, Yeshariel, whom you have redeemed, O YHWH, and do not lay innocent blood in the midst of your people, Yeshariel. Therefore we atone for them of the blood. Thus you will put away the innocent blood from among you, when you will do righteously in the sight of YHWH. When you go forth to war against your enemies, and YHWH your Elohim has delivered them into your hands, and you have taken them captive, and see a beautiful woman among the captives, and have a desire for her, that you would have her for your wife, then you will bring her home to your house. Also she will shave her head and cut her nails, and she will take the clothes of her captivity off of her, and remain in your house, and bewail her father and her mother a lunar cycle. Then, after that, you will go in unto her and be her husband, and she will be your wife. And it will be, if you have no delight in her, then you will let her go wherever she desires. But surely you will not sell her for money. You did not join with her. Upon that she was humbled. If a man has 2 wives, one is loved and another is hated, also they have bore him children, the loved and the hated, yet the firstborn is of her who was hated, when he makes his sons to inherit that which is his, that he will not put the firstborn son of the beloved before the firstborn son of the hated. But he will acknowledge the firstborn son of the hated by giving him a double portion of all that he has. For he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. If a man has a stubborn and rebellious son, who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, also when they discipline him, he will not hearken to them, then his father and his mother will lay hold upon him, and bring him out to the elders of his city, and to the gate of his place. Furthermore, they will say to the elders of his city, "This is our stubborn and rebellious son. He will not obey our voice, a glutton and a drunkard." And all the men of his city will stone him with stones, so that he dies. Thus you will put away evil from among you, and all Yisrael will hear and fear. Moreover, if any man has committed a sin worthy of death, and he is to be put to death, and you will hang him on a tree, his body will not remain all night upon the tree, but surely you will bury him during that day, because the cursed of Elohim are hanged. Therefore you will not defile your land, which YHWH your Elohim gives you for an inheritance.
Chapter 22.
You will not see your brother's ox or his ass go astray, and hide yourself from them. Surely you will bring them to your brother. However, if your brother is not near to you, or if you do not know him, then you will bring it to your own house, and it will be with you until your brother seeks after it. Then you will restore it to him again. In like manner you will do with his ass, so too you will do with his clothes, and with anything lost of your brother's, which he has lost and you have found, you will do likewise. You will not hide yourself. You will not see your brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide yourself from them. Surely you will help him to lift them up again. A woman will not wear what pertains to a man, nor will a man put on a woman's garment. For all who do so are unnatural unto YHWH, your Elohim. If you encounter a bird nest before you along the way, in any tree or on the ground, whether with young ones or eggs, also a mother sitting on young ones or upon the eggs, you will not take the mother with the descendants. Surely you will let the mother go. However, you may take the descendants unto yourself, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days. When you build a new house, then you will make a barrier for your roof, so that you do not bring blood upon your house. If any man should fall from there, you will not sow your vineyard with hybrid seeds, lest the fruit of your seed which you have sown and the fruit of your vineyard become defiled. You will not plow with an ox and an ass together. You will not wear a garment of blended fabric, of wool and linen together. You will make for yourself fringes upon the 4 corners of your clothes, which you are covered in. If any man takes a wife, and goes in unto her, yet hates her, and establishes slandering words against her, and brings a bad name upon her, and says, "I took this woman, and when I came to her, I discovered she was not a virgin," then the father and mother of the woman will bring evidence of her virginity to the elders in the gate of the city. And the woman's father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man to wife, but he hates her. Now he has established slandering words against her, saying, I discovered your daughter was not a virgin, yet this is from my daughter's virginity. Therefore they will spread the cloth before the elders of the city, and the elders of that city will take that man and chastise him. Moreover, they will fine him with 100 shekels of silver, and give it to the father of the woman, because he has brought an evil name upon a virgin of Yeshariel. Furthermore, she will be his wife. He will not be allowed to divorce her all his days. But if this thing is true, virginity is not found for the woman, then they will bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city will stone her with stones, so that she dies, because she has worked folly in Yeshariel, to play the whore in her father's house. Thus you will put away evil from among you. If a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they will die, both of them, the man who laid with the woman and the woman. Thus you will put away evil from Yeshariel. If a virgin woman is betrothed to a husband, but a man finds her in a city and lies with her, then you will bring both of them out to the gate of the city, and you will stone them with stones, so that they die. The damsel, because she did not cry out in the city, also the man, because he has humbled his neighbor's wife. Thus you will put away evil from among you. But if a man finds a betrothed woman in the field, and the man forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lies with her will die. However, unto the woman you will do nothing. No mortal sin is within the woman. For like when a man rises against his neighbor and slays him, even so is this matter. Because he found her in the field, the betrothed damsel cried, yet nobody saved her. If a man finds a virgin woman who is not betrothed, and lays hold upon her, and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lies with her will give to the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she will become his wife. Because he has humbled her, he may not put her away all his days. A man will not take his father's wife, nor uncover his father's skirt.
Chapter 23.
He who is wounded with crushed and severed genitals will not enter into the congregation of YHWH. A bastard will not enter into the congregation of YHWH. Even to his 10th generation, none unto him will enter into the congregation of YHWH. An Amori or Moabi will not enter into the congregation of YHWH. Even to their 10th generation, they will not enter into the congregation of YHWH forever, because they did not meet you with bread and water along the way when you came from Mitzrayim, and because they hired against you Bileam, the son of Baor, from Petur Aram of the 2 rivers, to curse you. Nevertheless, YHWH your Elohim did not hearken unto Bileam. Instead, YHWH your Elohim turned the curse into an endowment for you, because YHWH your Elohim loved you. You will not seek their restoration nor well-being all your days forever. You will not detest an Edomi, because he is your brother. You will not detest a Mitzri, because you were a sojourner in his land. The children who are begotten of them will enter into the congregation of YHWH in their 3rd generation. When the army goes forth against your enemies, then you will keep away from all evil things. If there is a man among you who is not clean from an accident in the night, then he will go abroad out of the camp. He will not come within the camp. Then it will be, when it turns to evening, he will wash with water. Moreover, when the sun is down, he will come into the camp. Therefore, you will have a place outside the camp where you will go abroad. Also, you will have a spade for yourself among the gear, and it will be, when you dwell outside, you will dig with it. Then turn and cover your excrement. For Yahweh your Elohim walks in the midst of your camp, to deliver you, and to give your enemies before you. Therefore your camp will be set apart, that he does not see any unclean thing among you, and turn away from you. You will not deliver the servant who has escaped from his Lord to you unto his Lord. He will dwell with you, among you, in the place that he chooses, in one of your gates, where it seems best to him. You will not oppress him. There will be no whore among the daughters of Yisrael, nor male prostitute among the sons of Yisrael. You will not bring the wages of a whore, or the price of a dog, into the house of Yahweh your Elohim for any vow, for both of these are abominations unto Yahweh your Elohim. You will not lend upon usury to your brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a foreigner you may lend upon usury, but to your brother you will not lend upon usury, that Yahweh your Elohim may endow you in all that you set your hand to, in the land where you go to possess. When you vow a vow unto Yahweh your Elohim, you will not slack to pay it. Surely Yahweh your Elohim will require it of you, and it would be a sin in you. However, if you refuse to vow, it will not be a sin in you. That which goes out of your lips you will keep and perform, a freewill offering, according as you have vowed unto Yahweh your Elohim, which you have promised with your mouth. When you come into your neighbor's vineyard, then you will eat your fill of grapes, as you desire, but you will not put any into your vessel. When you come to your neighbor's standing grain, then you may pluck the heads with your hand. However, you will not move a sickle against your neighbor's standing grain.
Chapter 24.
When a man takes a wife and marries her, and it comes to pass that she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found some shame in her, then let him write her a bill of divorce, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be with another man. However, if the latter husband who took her to be his wife hates her, and writes her a bill of divorce, and gives it in her hand, and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies, her previous husband, who sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife after she is defiled, for that is an abomination before Yahweh. Therefore you will not cause the land to sin, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you for an inheritance. When a man has taken a new wife, he will not go out to war, nor will he be charged with any business. He will be free at home for 1 year, and celebrate his wife, whom he has taken. Do not pledge the lower or upper millstone, because the pledge will take his livelihood. If a man is found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Yisrael, and makes merchandise of him, or sells him, then that thief will die. Thus you will put away evil from among you. Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that you observe diligently to do according to all that the priests, the Levim, will teach you. Like I have commanded them, you will observe to do. Remember what Yahweh your Elohim did to Miriam along the way, after you had come from Mitzrayim. When you lend your brother anything, you will not go into his house to fetch his pledge. You will stand outside, and the man to whom you lent will bring the pledge outside to you. Moreover, if the man is poor, you will not rest with his pledge. In any case, you will deliver him the pledge again when the sun goes down, that he may sleep in his own clothes and endow you. Therefore it will be righteousness unto you before YHWH your Elohim. You will not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, of your brethren, or of your immigrants who are in your land within your gates. Within his day you will give him his hire. The sun will not go down upon it, for he is poor and has set his heart upon it, lest he cries against you unto YHWH, and it becomes a sin for you. The fathers will not be put to death for the children, nor will the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man will be put to death for his own sin. You will not bend to the judgment of the immigrant, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's clothes for a pledge. But you will remember that you were bondmen in Mitzrayim, and YHWH your Elohim redeemed you there. Thus I command you to do this word. When you cut down your harvest in your field, and have forgotten a sheaf in the field, you will not go again to fetch it. It will be for the immigrant, for the fatherless, and for the widow, so that YHWH your Elohim may endow you in all the work of your hands. When you are at your olive tree, you will not go over the limbs a second time. It will be for the immigrant, for the fatherless, and for the widow. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you will not glean it afterwards. It will be for the immigrant, for the fatherless, and for the widow.
Chapter 25.
If there is a controversy between mortals, and they come to trial, and they are judged, then they will justify the righteous, and condemn the wicked. And it will be, if the wicked man is worthy to be beaten, then the judge will cause him to lie down, and he will be beaten before his face. The number will be according to his wickedness. He will give him no more than 40 lashes, lest he exceeds and beats him above these with more lashes. Then your brother will seem vile to you. You will not muzzle the ox when it is treading. If brothers dwell together, and one of them dies, yet has no child, the wife of the dead will not marry outside to an unauthorized. Her husband's brother will go in unto her, and take her unto himself to wife, and perform the duty of the husband's brother for her. And it will be that the firstborn who she bears will succeed in the name of his dead brother, so that his name is not put out of Yisrael. However, if the man does not want to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the elders at the gate and say, My husband's brother refuses to raise up unto his brother a name in Yisrael. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city will call him and speak to him. Still yet, he stands and says, I do not want to take her. Therefore his brother's wife will come to him in the presence of the elders, and loosen his shoes from off his foot, and spit in his face, and answer and say, So be it done to that man who will not build up his brother's house. And in Yisrael his name will be called the house of him whom has his shoe loosened. When men strive together, one with another, and the wife of the one draws near to deliver her husband out of the hand of him whom smites him, and puts forth her hand, and takes him by the genitals, then you will cut off her hand. Your eyes will not pity her. You will not have diverse weights in your bag, a great and a small. You will not have diverse measurements in your house, a great and a small. You will have a perfect and just weight. You will have a perfect and just measurement, so that your days may be lengthened in the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you. For all who do such things, doing unrighteousness, are an abomination unto YHWH your Elohim. Remember what Amalek did to you along the way, when you had come from Mitzrayim, how he met you by the way, and attacked the hindmost of you, all the feeble behind you, when you were faint and weary. Yet he did not fear Elohim. Therefore it will be, when YHWH your Elohim has given you rest from all your enemies round about, in the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you an inheritance to possess, that you will blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens. You will not forget it.
Chapter 26.
And it will be, when you come into the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you for an inheritance, and possess it, and dwell in it, that you will take the first of all the fruit of the earth, which you will bring of your land that YHWH your Elohim gives you, and put it in a basket, and go to the place which YHWH your Elohim will choose to place his name there. Then you will go to the priest who is in those days, and say to him, I profess this day to YHWH your Elohim, that I have come to the country which YHWH swore to our fathers to give us. And the priest will take the basket out of your hand, and put it down before the altar of YHWH your Elohim. Furthermore, you will speak and say before YHWH your Elohim, My father was an Arami, about to perish, but he went down into Mitzrayim, and sojourned there with a few. Then he became a nation there, great, mighty, and numerous. Moreover, the Mitzrayim were evil to us, and afflicted us, and laid hard bondage upon us. Therefore, when we cried to YHWH, Elohim of our fathers, YHWH heard our voice, and looked upon our affliction, and our labor, and our oppression. Then YHWH brought us from Mitzrayim with a mighty hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with great fearsomeness, and with signs, and with wonders. So he brought us into this place, and he gave us this land, a land that flows with milk and honey. Now behold, I have brought the first fruits of the land, which you, O YHWH, have given me. Then you will set it before YHWH your Elohim, and worship before YHWH your Elohim. Then you will rejoice in everything good which YHWH your Elohim has given to you and to your house, you and the Levim and the sojourner who is among you. When you have made an end to tithing, all the tithes of your increase the 3rd year, the year of tithing, and have given it to the Levim, the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within your gates and be filled. Then you will say before YHWH your Elohim, I have brought the set-apart portion from my house. So too I have given it to the Levim, and to the immigrant, to the fatherless, and to the widow, according to all your commandments which you have commanded me. I have not transgressed your commandments, nor have I forgotten them. I have not eaten from it during my mourning, nor have I taken away from it for the unclean, nor given from it for the dead. I have hearkened unto the voice of YHWH my Elohim, according to all that you have commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation, from the heavens, and endow your people, Yisrael, and the land which you have given us, as you swore to our fathers, a land that flows with milk and honey. This day, YHWH your Elohim has commanded you to do these customs and guidelines. Therefore, you will keep and do them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have agreed this day. YHWH will be your Elohim, and to walk in his ways, and keep his customs, and his commandments, and his guidelines, and to hearken to his voice. And YHWH has claimed you this day to be his treasured people, as he has promised you, and to keep all his commandments, thus to make you high above all nations which he has made, in praise and in name and in honor, and that you may be a holy people unto YHWH your Elohim, as he has spoken.
Chapter 27.
And Moshe, with all the elders of Yisrael, commanded the people, saying, Keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it will be on the day when you pass over the Yarden to the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you, that you will set up for yourself great stones, and plaster them with plaster. Also, when you have passed over, you will write upon them all the words of this teaching, that you may go into the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you, a land that flows with milk and honey, as YHWH, the Elohim of your fathers, has promised you. Therefore it will be when you have gone over the Yarden, that you will set up these stones, which I command you this day, in Mount Aibal, and you will plaster them with plaster. And there you will build an altar to YHWH your Elohim, an altar of stones. You will not lift iron upon them. You will build the altar unto YHWH your Elohim of whole stones, and you will offer ascension offerings upon it unto YHWH your Elohim. And you will offer restoration offerings, and eat there, and rejoice before YHWH your Elohim. Furthermore, you will write upon the stones all the words of this teaching very plainly. Thus Moshe and the priests, the Levim, spoke to all Yisrael, saying, Take heed and hearken, O Yisrael. This day you have become the people of YHWH your Elohim. Therefore you will obey the voice of YHWH your Elohim, and do his commandments and his customs, which I command you this day. Then Moshe charged to the people that same day, saying, These will stand upon Mount Gerizim, to endow the people, when you have come over the Yarden, Shimaun, and Lehi, and Yehuda, and Yeshachar, and Yusuf, and Binyamin. And these will stand upon Mount Aibal, upon the curse, Reuben, Gad, and Asher, and Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. Moreover, the Levim will speak and say to all the men of Yisrael with a loud voice, Cursed is the man who makes a carved or molten image, an abomination unto YHWH, the work of the hands of a craftsman, and sets it up secretly. Then all the people will answer and say, Amen. Cursed is he who dishonors his father or his mother. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who removes his neighbor's landmark. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who causes the blind to wander out of the way. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who bends the justice of the immigrant, fatherless, and widow. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who lies with his father's wife, because he uncovers his father's skirt. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who lies with any beast. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who lies with his sister, the daughter of his father, or the daughter of his mother. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who lies with his mother-in-law. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who secretly attacks his neighbor. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who takes a bounty to slay an innocent person. Then all the people will say, Amen. Cursed is he who does not confirm the words of this teaching to do them. Then all the people will say, Amen.
Chapter 28.
And it will come to pass, if you will hearken diligently to the voice of YHWH your Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that YHWH your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth. Therefore all these endowments will come upon you and overtake you, if you will hearken to the voice of YHWH your Elohim, endowing you in the city, and endowing you in the field, endowing the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle, the increase of your kine, and the flocks of your sheep, endowing your basket and your storehouse, endowing you when you come in, and endowing you when you go out. YHWH will cause your enemies who rise up against you to be smitten before your face. They will come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. YHWH will command the endowment upon you in your storehouses, and in all that you set your hand to. Also, he will endow you in the land which YHWH your Elohim gives you. YHWH will establish you a holy people unto himself, like he has sworn to you, if you will keep the commandments of YHWH your Elohim and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth will see that you are called by the name of YHWH, and they will be afraid of you. Also, YHWH will make you plenteous in goods, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your ground, in the land which YHWH swore to your fathers to give you. YHWH will open to you his good treasure. The heavens will give the rain to your land in its season, and to endow all the work of your hand. Furthermore, you will lend to many nations, and you will not borrow. And YHWH will make you the head, and not the tail, and you will be above only, and you will not be beneath, if you hearken to the commandments of YHWH your Elohim, which I command you this day, to observe and to do. And you will not go astray from any of the words which I command you this day, the right hand or the left, to go after other deities to serve them. However, it will come to pass, if you will not hearken to the voice of YHWH your Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his customs, which I command you this day, that all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. You will be cursed in the city, and you will be cursed in the field. Your basket and your storehouse will be cursed, and the fruit of your body will be cursed, and the fruit of your land, the increase of your kine, and the flock of your sheep. You will be cursed when you come in, and cursed when you go out. YHWH will send upon you cursing, vexation, and rebuke, in all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed, and until you perish quickly, because of the wickedness of your doings, whereby you have forsaken me. YHWH will make the pestilence cleave to you, until it has consumed you from off the land where you go to possess. YHWH will smite you with consumption, and with fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with scorch, and with mildew. Thus they will pursue you until you perish. Furthermore, the heavens that are over your head will be copper, and the earth that is under you will be iron. YHWH will make the rain of your land powder and dust. It will come down upon you from the heavens, until you are destroyed. YHWH will cause you to be smitten before your enemies. You will go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and you will be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And your carcass will be food to all fowl of the air, and to the beasts of the earth, and no man will frighten them away. YHWH will smite you with the boils of Mitzrayim, and with tumors, and with scab, and with itch, which you cannot heal. YHWH will smite you with madness, and blindness, and a bewildered heart. Therefore you will grope at noonday, like the blind gropes in the darkness, and you will not prosper in your ways, and you will only be oppressed and plundered of all, yet no Savior. You will betroth a wife, but another man will lie with her. You will build a house, but you will not dwell in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will not gather its grapes. Your ox will be slain before your eyes, but you will not eat of it. Your ass will be taken away violently before your face, but it will not be restored to you. Your flocks will be given to your enemies. Therefore, there will be no deliverance for you. Your sons and your daughters will be given to another people, and your eyes will look and yearn for them all the day long. Yet there will be no power in your hand. A nation that you do not know will eat the fruit of your land and all your labors. Therefore, you will only be oppressed and crushed always. Also, you will be driven to madness from the appearance of what you see. YHWH will smite you in the knees and in the legs with terrible boils that will not heal, from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. YHWH will bring you and your king, who you will set over you, to a nation that neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you will serve other deities, wood and stone. Therefore you will become a desolation, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations where YHWH leads you. You will carry much seed out into the field, but you will gather in little, for the locust will consume it. You will plant and dress vineyards, but you will never drink of the wine, nor gather, for the worms will eat them. You will have olive trees throughout all your borders, but you will not be anointed with oil, for your olive will be discarded fruit. You will beget sons and daughters, but you will not enjoy them, for they will go into captivity. The locust will consume all the trees and fruit of your land. The immigrant who is among you will rise up above you, very high, and you will become very low. He will lend to you, but you will not lend to him. He will be the head, and you will be the tail. Moreover, all these curses will come upon you, and pursue you, and overtake you, until you are destroyed, because you did not hearken to the voice of YHWH, your Elohim, to keep his commandments and his customs which he commanded you. Thus they will be for a sign and a wonder, and upon your seed forever, because you did not serve YHWH your Elohim with joyfulness, and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of everything. Therefore you will serve your enemies which YHWH will send against you, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of everything, and he will put a yoke of iron upon your neck, until he has destroyed you. YHWH will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, like a flying eagle, a nation whose tongue you will not understand, a nation of fierce continence, which will not regard the old person, nor show favor to the young. And he will eat the fruit of your cattle, and the fruit of your land, until you are destroyed, so that they will not leave you grain, wine, or oil, the increase of your kine, or the flocks of your sheep, until he has destroyed you. So too he will besiege you in all your gates, in which you have trusted throughout all your land, until your high and fenced walls come down. Surely he will besiege you in all your gates, throughout all your land, which YHWH your Elohim has given you. Furthermore, during the siege and anguish that your enemies will cause you, you will eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your sons and daughters, whom YHWH your Elohim has given you. The sensitive and delightful man among you will appear evil to his brother, and to the wife of his bosom, and to the remnant of his children who are left, from giving to one of them the flesh of his own children, whom he will eat because of the lack of what remains for you during the siege and anguish. Your enemies will be at your gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, who would not dare to set the sole of her foot upon the ground because of delicateness and tenderness. She will appear evil to the husband of her bosom, and to her son, and to her daughter, and to the young one whom comes from between her feet, and to the children who she will bear. For she will secretly eat them all during the lack, during the siege and anguish. Your enemy will be at your gates. If you will not observe to do all the words of this teaching that are written in this supper, that you may revere the glorious and fearsome name of YHWH, your Elohim, then the marvelous YHWH will make your plagues and the plagues of your seed truly great plagues, and truly horrible occurrences. Moreover, he will bring upon you all the diseases of Mitzrayim, which you were afraid, and they will cleave to you. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the supper of this teaching, these YHWH will bring upon you, until you are destroyed. And the remnant will be few in number, whereas you were like the stars of the heavens for multitude, because you would not obey the voice of YHWH your Elohim. Moreover, it will come to pass that as YHWH rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so too YHWH will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to nothingness. And you will be plucked off from the land where you go to possess. And YHWH will scatter you among all the people, from one end of the earth even to the other. And there you will serve other deities, which neither you nor your fathers have known, wood and stone. And among these nations you will find no ease, neither will the sole of your feet find rest. But there YHWH will give you a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and a sorrowful mind. And your life will hang in doubt before you. So too you will fear day and night. Also you will have no assurance of your life. In the morning you will say, if only it were evening. But at evening you will say, if only it were morning. Because of the fear of your heart, which you will fear, and because of the sight of your eyes, which you will see. Furthermore, YHWH will return you to Mitzrayim in ships again, by the way which I spoke to you, that you will never see again. And there you will be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, yet no one will buy. These are the words of the covenant which YHWH commanded Moshe to make with the children of Yisrael in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb.
Chapter 29.
And Moshe called to all Yisrael and said to them, You have seen all that YHWH did before your eyes in the land of Mitzrayim to Paro, and to all his servants, and to all his land, the great testings, the signs, and those great miracles that your eyes have seen. Still yet, YHWH has not given you a heart to perceive, nor eyes to see, nor ears to hear, until this day. Although I have led you 40 years in the wilderness, your clothes have not become worn upon you, and your shoes have not become worn upon your feet. You have not eaten bread, nor have you drunk wine, nor strong drink, so that you may know that I am he who exists, your Elohim. And when you came to this place, Sihon, the king of Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us to battle. However, we fought them and took their land. Then we gave it for an inheritance to the Reubeni, and to the Gadi, and to half the tribe of Manasseh. Therefore, keep the words of this covenant, and do them, so that you may prosper in all that you do. This day all of you stand before YHWH your Elohim, the captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, all the men of Yisrael, your little ones, your wives, and your immigrants who are in your camp. from your woodcutter to your water drawer, so that you may enter into covenant with YHWH your Elohim, and into his oath, which YHWH your Elohim makes with you this day, so that he may establish you for a people unto himself today, and that he may be an Elohim unto you, like he said to you, and like he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob. Not only do I make this covenant and this oath with you, with those who stand here with us this day before YHWH our Elohim, but also with those who are not here with us this day. For you know how you were treated in the land of Mitzrayim, and how we came through the nations, which you passed by, and you have seen their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there is a man or woman or family or tribe among you whose heart turns away from YHWH our Elohim this day, to go serve the deities of these nations. Lest there is a root among you that bears gall and wormwood, and it comes to pass, when he hears the words of this curse, that he endows himself in his heart, saying, I am restored, even though my heart firmly follows its intentions of drunkenness and thirst. YHWH will not spare him. Rather, the anger of YHWH and his jealousy will smolder against that man, and all the curses that are written in this supper will lie upon him. Also, YHWH will blot out his name from under the heavens. And YHWH will separate him from all the tribes of Yisrael unto evil, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in the teaching of this supper, so that the generation of children to come who will rise up after you, and the foreigner who will come from a far land, when they see the plagues of that land, and the sickness which YHWH has laid upon it, will say, The whole land is burning with salt and brimstone. It is not sown, nor bears, nor grows any grass in it, like the overthrow of Sedum and Amorah, Admah and Sebayim, which YHWH overthrew during his anger and wrath. Therefore all nations will ask, Why has YHWH done thus to this land? What is this great fierceness of anger? Then the men will say, Because they have forsaken the covenant of YHWH, the Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them from the land of Mitzrayim. For they went and served other deities, and worshipped them, deities whom they did not know when he had given it to them. And the anger of YHWH was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this supper. Also, YHWH rooted them out of their land during the anger and wrath and great indignation. Moreover, he cast them into another land like this day. The secret concerning YHWH, our Elohim, and the revelation unto us and our children forever, is to do all the words of this teaching.
Chapter 30.
And it will come to pass when all these things have come upon you, the endowment and the curse that I have set before you, then you will call them to mind among all the nations where YHWH your Elohim has driven you. Therefore you will return unto YHWH your Elohim. Also you and your children will obey his voice according to all that I command you this day, with all your heart and with all your soul, that YHWH your Elohim will overturn your captivity and have compassion upon you. Also he will return and gather you from all the nations where YHWH your Elohim has scattered you. Although your banished are in the outermost parts of the heavens, from there YHWH your Elohim will gather you, and from there he will fetch you. And YHWH your Elohim will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed. Then you will possess it, and he will do you good and multiply you above your fathers. Furthermore, YHWH your Elohim will circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed, to love YHWH your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul, so that you may live. Moreover, YHWH your Elohim will put all these curses upon your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecute you. Also, you will return and obey the voice of YHWH, and do all his commandments, which I command you this day. And YHWH your Elohim will make you plenteous in all the work of your hand for good, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your land. For YHWH will rejoice over you for good again, like he rejoiced over your fathers, if you will hearken to the voice of YHWH your Elohim, to keep his commandments and his customs, which are written in the teaching of this supper, if you will return to YHWH your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. For this commandment which I command you this day is not hidden from you, nor is it far away. It is not in the heavens, so that you will say, who will go up to the heavens for us and bring it to us, that we may hear it and do it? Nor is it beyond the sea, that you will say, who will go over the sea for us and bring it to us, that we may hear it and do it? Rather, the word is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. Behold, this day I have set before you life and goodness, also death and wickedness, in that I may command you this day to love YHWH your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his customs, and his guidelines, so that you may live and multiply. Also, YHWH your Elohim will endow you in the land where you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, so that you will not hear, and draws away, and worships other deities, and serves them, I tell you this day that you will surely perish. You will not have prolonged days upon the land, where you pass over the Yarden to possess. My testimony with you this day is recorded in the heavens and earth, which I have set before you, life or death, endowment or curses. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live, so that you may love YHWH your Elohim, so that you may obey his voice, and so that you may cleave to him. For he is your life, and the length of your days, so that you may dwell in the land which YHWH swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, to give them.
Chapter 31.
And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yisrael, and he said to them, this day I am 120 years old. I cannot go out and come in any more. Also, YHWH has said to me, you will not go over this Yarden. YHWH your Elohim, he will go over before you. He will destroy these nations from before you. Then you will possess them. Yahushua, he will go over before you, as YHWH has said. And YHWH will do to them like he did to Sihon and to Og, kings of the Amori, and to the land of those who he destroyed. Moreover, YHWH will give them up before your face, that you may do to them according to all the commandments which I have commanded you. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For YHWH your Elohim is he who will go with you. He will not fail you, nor forsake you. Then Moshe called to Yahushua and said to him in the sight of all Yisrael, be strong and of good courage, for you must go with these people to the land which YHWH swore to their fathers to give them, and you will cause them to inherit it. And YHWH is he who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you, nor forsake you. Fear not, nor be dismayed. Also, Musha wrote this teaching and delivered it to the priests, the sons of Lehi, who bore the ark of the covenant of YHWH, and to all the elders of Yisrael. Furthermore, Musha commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, in the appointed year of release, during the feast of Sukkot, when all Yisrael has come to appear before YHWH your Elohim in the place which he will choose, you will read this teaching before all Yisrael in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women, and children, and your immigrants who are within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and revere YHWH your Elohim, and observe to do all the words of this teaching, so that their children who have not known may hear and learn to revere YHWH your Elohim, as long as you live in the land where you go over the Yarden to possess. Then YHWH said to Moshe, behold, your days approach that you must die. Call YHWH and present him in the appointed tent. Then I will commission him. Therefore Moshe and YHWH went and presented themselves in the appointed tent. And YHWH appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. Then YHWH said to Moshe, behold, you will sleep with your fathers, and these people will rise up and go whoring after the deities of the foreigners of the land, where they go to be among them, and forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then in that day my anger will be kindled against them, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they will be devoured. Also many evils and troubles will befall them, so that they will say during that day, have these evils come upon us because our Elohim is not among us? Surely I will hide my face during that day, because of all the evils which they will work in turning towards other deities. Now therefore, write this song for yourself, and teach it to the children of Yisrael. Put it in their mouths, so that this song may be a witness for me within the children of Yisrael. For when I bring them into the land, which I swore to their fathers, that flows with milk and honey, and they have eaten and filled themselves, and have grown fat, then they will turn to other deities and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant. Therefore it will come to pass, when many evils and troubles have befallen them, that this song will testify unto their face like a witness, because it will not be forgotten from the mouths of their seed. For this day I know the intentions he will do, even before I bring us into the land that I swore. Furthermore, that same day Moshe wrote and taught this song to the children of Yisrael. Moreover, he commissioned YHWH the son of Nun, and said, be strong and of good courage, for you will bring the children of Yisrael into the land which I swore to them, and I will be with you. It came to pass, as it was completed, Moshe stopped writing the words of this teaching in the supper. Then Moshe commanded the Levim, who carried the ark of the covenant of YHWH, saying, take this supper of the teaching, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of YHWH, your Elohim, so that it may be there as a witness for you. Because I know your rebellion and your stiff-neckedness. Behold, while I am still alive with you this day, you have been rebellious against YHWH. Therefore, how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes, and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and with them I will testify to the heavens and earth. For I know that after my death surely you will be corrupted, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, because you will do evil in the sight of YHWH, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands.
Chapter 32.
And Musha spoke in the ears of all the congregation of Yisrael the words of this song until they ended. Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak. And hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine will fall like the rain. My lesson will condense like the dew, like a small raindrop upon the tender herb, and like the showers upon the grass. For the name of YHWH I will proclaim his greatness unto our Elohim, the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are the guidelines of all. He is faithful and without iniquity, just and righteous. To him you are corrupted, not his children, defiled, a perverse and crooked generation. Is this how you repay YHWH, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your Father, who has redeemed you? Has he not made you and established you? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father, and he will answer you, your elders, and they will tell you. When the Most High divided the inheritance for the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the boundaries of the people according to the number of the children of Yisrael, because the portion of YHWH is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, while in the wasteland he howled. He led him about. He instructed him. He protected him like the apple of his eye. Like an eagle that awakes its nest, he flutters over his young. He spreads out his wings. He takes them, carries them upon his wings. YHWH alone led him, and no foreign deity was with him. He will carry him to the high places of the earth. Therefore he will eat the fruits of the fields. He will make him suck honey out of rock, and oil out of flint, butter of kine, and milk of sheep with fattened lambs. Also the rams are of the breed of Bashan, and the bucks are fattened with the best wheat. Moreover, you will drink the red blood of the grape. Therefore you will grow fat. He will sing. Then he will kick. Surely he will grow fat, thick, obese. Also he abandoned the Eluah, deity, who made him. The rock of his salvation will be diminished. They provoked him to jealousy with the unauthorized. They provoked him to anger with unnatural things. They sacrificed to demons, not unto Eluah of the Elohim. Your fathers were not vulnerable. They did not know the new ones coming from nearby. You are unmindful of the rock who begot you, and you have forgotten the all who formed you. And YHWH will see it. Because of the provoking, he will despise his sons and his daughters. Therefore he said, I will hide my face from them. I see what their end will be, for they are a very perverted generation, children in whom is no faithfulness. They have provoked me to jealousy by things not of all, making me angry by their foolish vanities. So I will provoke them to jealousy. I will make them angry by a foolish nation. For a fire will be kindled by my anger, and it will burn as far as the lowest hell, and consume the earth and the harvest. Also it will set the foundations of the mountains on fire. I will heap mischief upon them. I will use my arrows upon them, hallowed by hunger, and battling the flame, and bitter defeat. Also I will send the teeth of beasts upon them, with wrathful serpents of the dust. Those outside you will be destroyed by the sword, and those within by fear. The same will be with the young man and the virgin, the suckling along with the gray-haired man. I said, I will shatter them. I will end their memory from among mortals. If only there was no vexation from their enemies. I sojourn, lest they become foreigners of their enemies, lest they say, Our hand is high, and YHWH has not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, and have no understanding in them. If only they were wise, that they could understand this, so that they would consider their latter end. How can one chase 1,000, or two help a multitude escape? If not for their rock had sold them, and YHWH had captured them, because their rock is not like our rock. Also, our enemies are criminals, for their vine is of the vine of Sedum, and the grapes of the field of Amorah are the grapes of gall. Unto them are clusters of bitterness. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of cobras. Is this not hidden with me, sealed up within my treasures? Vengeance and restoration belongs to me. In time their foot will slip, for the day of calamity is at hand. Also, the things that are prepared for them will come quickly, for YHWH will judge his people. Also, concerning his servants, he will not be consoled when he sees that you have gone out of the hand, and no one remains, bond or free. Then he will say, where are their deities, the rock which they have sought refuge, which ate the fat of their sacrifices, drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you, becoming a cover for you. See now that I truly am He. Also, no deities are with me. I kill and I revive. I wound and I heal. Furthermore, no one can be snatched from my hand. For I lift up my hand towards the heavens and say, the upright will have everlasting life. If I sharpen my glittering sword, and you take hold of the guidelines, I will render vengeance unto my enemies, and repay those who hate me. My arrows will become drunk from blood. Also, my sword, it will devour the flesh and blood from the slain and captives, from the long-haired heads of the enemy. The Gentiles will rejoice with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and vengeance will be turned towards his adversaries. Also, he will reconcile his Adamah, his people. Then Musha came and spoke all the words of this song in the ears of the people, he and Hushai, the son of Nun. Moreover, Musha made an end of speaking all these words to all Yisrael, and he said to them, set your hearts unto all the words that I testify among you this day, which you will command your children to observe, to do all the words of this teaching, for it is not a vain word unto you, because it is your life. Also, by this word you will prolong your days in the land, where you go over the Yarden to possess. Furthermore, that same day, YHWH spoke to Musha, saying, get yourself up into this mountain of the Aibarim, Mount Nebu, which is in the land of Moab, which is opposite of Yerahu, and behold the land of Canaan, which I will give to the children of Yisrael for a possession. Then die in the mount that you ascend, and be gathered unto your people, like Aharun your brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people, because you trespassed against me among the children of Yisrael at the waters of Meribah, in the wilderness of Tzin, because you did not sanctify me in the midst of the children of Yisrael. But first you will see the land. However, you will not go there, to the land that I give the children of Yisrael.
Chapter 33.
This is the endowment that Musha, the man of Elohim, endowed the children of Yisrael before his death. And he said, YHWH from Sinai went and rose up from Sha'ar unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with a multitude of Kudesh. An outpouring of his right hand is for them. Yes, he loves the people. All their Kudeshim are in your hand, and they sit down at your feet receiving your words. The teaching commanded to us by Musha is an inheritance of the congregation of Jacob, and it will come to pass in Yesharun, when the heads of the people, the tribes of Yeshariel, are gathered together, he will be king. Reuben will live and not die, but his dead will be numbered. Also, this is for Yehuda. And he said, Hear, O Yeshariel, the voice of Yehuda, and bring him to his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be a help from his enemies. And concerning Lehi, he said, Your Tumim and your Aurim is with your follower, who you tested at Massa, who you strove with at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father and mother, I have not seen them, nor does he acknowledge his brethren, or know his own children, because they observe your word and keep your covenant. They will teach Jacob your guidelines, and Yeshariel your teaching. They will put incense before you, and everything upon your altar. O Yahweh, endow his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite those who rise up against him, and those who hate him, through the loins, so that they do not rise up again. And of Benjamin, he said, the beloved of Yahweh, he will dwell in safety by him who covers him all the day long. Also, he dwells between his shoulders. And of Yusuf, he said, This land is of the endowment of Yahweh, from the riches of the heavens, from the dew, and from the deep that lies beneath, and from the rich fruits of the sun, and from the riches brought forth by the moons, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and the riches of the everlasting hills, and for the riches of the earth, and the fullness of it. Also the favor of him who dwells in a bush, it will come upon the head of Yusuf, and upon the crown of the Nazir of his brethren. His glory is like the firstborn bull, and his horns are the horns of a wild ox. With them he will corral the people together from the ends of the earth, and they will have myriads of Ephraim, and they will have thousands of Menashe. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in your going out, also Yeshachar in your tents. They will beckon the people unto the mountain. There they will make offerings of righteousness, for they will suckle upon the abundance of the sea, and the hidden treasures of the sand. And of God he said, Endowed is he who enlarges God. He dwells like a lion, tearing the arm and crown of the head. Also he sought the first for himself, because the portion from the lawgiver was covered there. Furthermore, he will go with the leaders of the people and do the righteousness of Yahweh and his guidelines within Yeshariel. And of Dan, he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He will leap from Bashan. And of Naphtali, he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and filled with the endowment of Yahweh, you will possess the west and the south. And of Asher, he said, The most endowed of the sons is Asher. Let him be acceptable to his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil. Your locks are iron and copper, and your strength will be like your days. Nothing is likened to the all of Yesharun, riding upon the heavens during your help, and upon the clouds during his splendor. The eternal Elohim is a refuge. Also underneath are the everlasting arms. Therefore he will thrust out the enemy from before you, and say, Destroy. Then Yeshariel will dwell alone in safety. The fountain of Jacob will be upon the land of grain and wine. Also his heavens will drop down dew. Your happiness, O Yeshariel, who is likened unto you, a people saved by Yahweh, the shield of your help, and the sword of your excellency. Also your enemies will lie to you, but you will tread upon their high places.
Chapter 34.
And Moshe went up from the plains of Moab to the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is facing Yericho. Then Jehu showed him all the land of Gilead, as far as Dan, and all Naphtali, also the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Yehudah, until the western sea, and the south, and the plain of the valley of Yericho, the city of the palm trees, until Zoar. And Jehu said to him, This is the land which I swore to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, saying, I will give it to your seed. I have caused you to see it with your eyes, but you will not go over there. So Moshe, the servant of Jehu, died there, in the land of Moab, according to the word of Jehu. And he buried him in a valley of the land of Moab, in front of Beit Baor. However, no man knows his sepulchre to this day. Thus Moshe was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his natural forces abated. Moreover, the children of Yeshareal wept for Moshe in the plains of Moab for 30 days. Then the days of mournful weeping ended for Moshe. And Yehoshua, the son of Nun, was full of the Ruach of wisdom, because Moshe had laid his hands upon him. Therefore the children of Yeshareal hearkened unto him, and did as Jehu commanded Moshe. However, another prophet like Moshe, who knows Jehu face to face, will not rise in Yeshareal, with all the signs and wonders that Jehu sent him to do in the land of Mitzrayim concerning Paro, and all his servants, and all his land, and all his mighty strength, and all the great terror that Moshe did in the eyes of all Yeshareal.